Hey everybody, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Giant Blue podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jack Macmillan. With me as always, your host Felix Baker and Sean Guy. And for the first time on this show, special guest, Matthew Zarimis. Hey!
Whoa, welcome.
Hey. How you doing, Matt?
I'm pretty good, actually,
Cool.
Bit rested from coming back from like a couple of conventions, but yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you've been
excited
in
to talk
America.
about that. Been in America.
Yeah, been to America, went to the Twitch cons. The Twitch cons, yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and
Shout out.
Yeah.
No, but like it was good fun. Like I met a lot of people that I met online, and I met with a lot of like community people and a lot of developers as well, which was really, really awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, so-
No, definitely. I'm excited to jump into that. I think we'll talk more about that on the Gamescast, I think.
Yeah.
I'm very keen. We'll do a Gamescast after this, you guys. It's a little different this week on the Giant Blue podcast. Usually we bring topics, but this week we're doing another themed one and keeping it sort of more casual, free flow. And we're going to talk about, well, because Sean, you're more of a movie guy. Matthew, you're more of a gaming guy. Felix and I are sort of somewhere in the middle. And so to bridge those gaps between the mediums, we're going to do a video game movies podcast and just have some talking points and things like that. And I want to start us off by saying, well, first of all, video games aren't the movies.
I feel like they're cursed. I feel like that's like an industry curse. For like maybe the last 25 years, I can't think of really a single one.
Now, people relate it to comic book movies, because the comic book movies back in I think the 80s or 90s were dreadful, and then suddenly
With the
you got
exception of
Dark Knight.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, and
obviously.
Tim Burton's Batman and stuff like that, yeah. Oh, you were joking.
No, I wasn't joking. Howard the Duck is a masterpiece.
But then they came back with Iron Man and Dark Knight, and that's like spawned this like golden age of comic book movies. And
Yeah.
people keep thinking that's going to happen with video games. Like we have to get through the shitty ones until people finally understand video games, then do it, sort of thing. But I was going to start you guys off with a question of there was 3 video game movies in 2016.
Like
Can you name all of them?
2016.
2016 there were 3.
Warcraft?
Warcraft is one of them.
Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
And the shooting
Angry
one.
Birds.
You got it.
Yes!
Angry Birds, yeah.
When was that?
You nailed it.
2016?
All
Yeah.
2016.
I thought that was this year.
All not that great. I've not seen Angry Birds.
I've not seen Angry
When
Angry
was
Birds.
Hitman 47 or whatever that
I
was?
have no idea.
No.
That wasn't even on
2015?
my radar.
What do you guys have against Assassin's Creed?
It's not a very good film.
And look, no, actually, like I think that this is interesting, and I think it fits for all video game movies. Is that you kind of have to put them in their own category of being adapted from a video game.
I don't like that. But I get your
What
point.
are you talking about? The Marvel universe is kind of based like that. The comics are separate to what the
Yeah, but even they don't like that.
No, I
But
think
then
they're
you've
like
seen-
good movies
You've seen
on their
them
own,
all.
though. Yeah.
Like I don't like. It's like it's a good comic book movie. I'm like, well, it's just a good movie. Like I don't always like
That's what I was
that
gonna
sort
say.
of put it. It's my problem why they have this in the Oscars. They have the best animation category.
Yeah.
and it's like
Some of those animated films are better
it's
than
like,
the winners.
Oh, best animation. Like it's not best film. It's best animated film. You know what I mean? It's kind of putting it on like a lower shelf. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I get your point, and where was I going? In the Marvel films, like they're getting more genre specific, as you've seen of late. Like Winter Soldier was the political thriller.
Yeah.
Guardians is like the 80s space opera kind of thing. They do, and like I read something today that the new Avengers is going to be a heist film. Thanos taking all the Infinity Stones and a sort of heist film.
I
And
heard
was like,
that as
sounds
well.
cool. And well, Ant-Man was a heist film
Ant-Man,
too.
I was
Ant-Man was a
gonna
major
say.
heist film. So they're sort of mixing the superhero with that genre. Yeah.
Well, it's like
But,
the question is like, is superhero a genre? Because like it sort of was,
Yeah.
and there's certainly like common elements, but I guess you can't have just
But they're
superhero
so
as a
like
genre.
diverse
Yeah.
now. There's so many of them. Like they need to adapt.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
otherwise
definitely,
they just
yeah.
become stale. With Assassin's Creed, I found myself like oddly defending that movie in the weirdest way because people are like, it's fucking shit. I'm like, it's not shit. It's mediocre. And I'm like, why do I care? why am I defending this movie? It's like painfully mediocre.
Have you
that
guys
movie.
all seen? Have you guys all played the games? Obviously.
I love the game.
I love the games with a passion. Like it is like one of like my favorite
games.
like game
franchises.
series. Like,
So I only played
So
the
you got
first
some
one,
fluff on your beard.
Oh, it's because it's just fluff. It's not.
and your
But-
hair.
No, well, like it's one of my favorite series because it has a fantastic storyline behind it, and it has one of the best like kind of build-ups in game-wise and collectible-wise as well.
It's kind of repetitive, though, isn't it? Don't you guys think? Am I the only one?
It can be, yeah.
It can be in some aspects, but like when you do just the main storyline of it, it's amazing. It's kind of like going into Skyrim and having just the main storyline and not doing the side quests. It's got a good backstory
the
behind
quality
it,
is, yeah.
and got great lore behind it.
Right.
It's a cool premise, which I remember when I first played the games, I kind of rejected because they never market it, and I think that's why people sometimes have that gut reaction. Because if you guys don't know, Assassin's Creed you're not. It's not you're an assassin. You're a modern day person
Yes.
reliving his ancestors'
Yeah.
memories as an assassin.
Which is what
And they
it's
never
about.
marketed that. So like I remember my friend playing Assassin's Creed 1 in 2007, and
You start off.
well, yeah, no, you start off as an assassin, like, yeah, and then it literally pulls you out of the game, and then throws all this like lore at you, like Desmond, you're like in the 21st century, and you're
Your
and, like,
DNA special.
yeah, your DNA special, and we were just like, this is the stupidest shit ever. But they've stuck with it, and we're just, I guess you just kind of accept it now.
I don't think they did
But-
it well in the movie though.
I do not think so either. Yeah, like,
But maybe it's because I don't know the lore as well as you guys. But I was watching that film and I was like, and because they explained it badly, at least in the film, maybe not the games. But there was like he like had to play through all these things to get to like one moment, and it didn't even really like
yeah.
connect thematically or to the plot.
I think I have the same lines of like what Jack is. It's like it's a mediocre film, and I'm defending it. But like at the same time, it's one of those things that I had nostalgia because I go, oh, that's the apple of Eden.
You can like connect
It's
things to
great.
the video games that you play.
There's apparently heaps of references that, and I totally missed them or whatever. Apparently Ezio's like in it or something, like a flashback, but I completely missed that.
Yeah.
What you said though, they did. I think I've said this before. Is like there's like fucking 9 games of Assassin's Creed now or something like that, or
Yeah.
8. We're up to, their Origins just came out, so I think that's number 9. So those games are like 50-hour games. So that's like 400 odd hours of story and
a
gameplay.
lot.
To condense that into an hour and a half, it's
But
like.
why would you put yourself through that?
Well,
Why, as
and
a film
I don't-
guy,
yeah,
why
no.
wouldn't you just do like the first?
Well, that's
one
why I don't know why.
Or
they
just a
did,
separate
I don't know why they
story.
did try to cram so much lore, because even I know the lore, and even I was like, "What the hell am I watching?" Like, even I found it taxing and like overdrawn. I was like, and like,
It's
I don't know.
50 hours
It's-
in like 2 hours.
they focused on different stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think I was defending because there are some cool moments. Anytime they do the flashback and here's the Spanish guy, all that action stuff is real cool.
Yeah.
All the set pieces, the way it's shot, I think all that stuff's really good.
Hmm.
I think all the modern day stuff isn't
assassin
that great.
bits.
All the assassin bits, yeah, the parts that you
But
want
even
to
then,
see.
I was like, I didn't see how a lot of them connected.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a bit.
I don't know if I'm
it's a
like
bit
in the
messy.
minority there, but I like when I
Yes.
came out of that film, I like analyzed all the bits, and I was like, which bits related to like the main plot? And I was like, very few.
I think it's
I think
what
that's the
sorry.
trouble with the games though as well. Though, like you don't know why you have to go through all of the missions because it's a memory, so you should be able to just kind of like play from where the important parts of the memory are.
They've got to make a game.
They got to make a game around it.
can't be
But the
like
movie-
2 hours long.
I feel like the
yeah.
movie
They've got to
could
make
have
a
been
movie
different,
around
Well,
though.
it could have been very different. I
The
think.
reason why is because in that sense that when you actually go through the memories, not all memories are actually available. Like there are certain parts within his
like
brain
the
that are
unlocked,
available.
That's
but
sort of
that-
story
but-
MacGuffin.
You
to,
kind of got to
pad
sync
it
up
out.
with
But,
it.
I
or
mean, a
something,
game
yeah.
you want to be long.
No,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the game I think is. Yeah, the game. I mean, we're not analyzing the game though, are we? We're analyzing the video game movie.
Yeah,
And,
but
like,
sort of the adaptation.
and there was like, we say it was long, and then we say it was short, and then we say it wasn't long enough, and there was too much that could have been in it. And I'm like, honestly, I came out of that movie thinking like, you could have cut 45 minutes of it and not lost a single thing from the narrative. And to me, as like a writer, I'm like, that's annoying. I was like, there's so much to that film that just like was there because it was a cool set piece.
I put it on the
Yeah.
same sort of level as Batman v
Can't
Superman.
argue with that.
It's like there are some cool parts of Batman v Superman. They focus on stuff they don't need to focus on. I feel like that's the way with
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. And same with Batman v Superman. It's like this clash of like, we want to make an artsy film that's all about, it's got philosophy and meaning and like makes you think and it's innovative. And then you've got like smashy, bashy, robot, action, superhero film sort of thing. And it's these two kind of ideologies that don't always mesh. Sometimes they do. But I think about Batman v Superman, I think Assassin's Creed they don't, because I think the director is a very artsy director, and he wanted to
Well,
put
Justin Kurzel-
all this meaning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But everyone, I think a lot of the audience was just like, nah, just show us killing and assassins and stuff like that. Like, I would like a deeper film. I just don't think it meshed very well in that film. And
So to name drop,
Yeah.
I think it was Justin Kurzel
I
who
think you're
directed.
right, yeah.
He had previously done Macbeth. Same actors, Michael Fassbender and I can't remember her name. Marion Cotillard.
Marion Cotillard. And
Yeah.
even Jeremy Iron, they had a great cast.
They had a really good
Michael
cast.
Fassbender was attached to that, like, the film before there was even like a script or a director. They,
Which
like,
I was,
they
I
just-
was
what
so
they did.
sold on that. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
don't show me a trailer. I was like, Michael Fassbender playing the assassin. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And then I watched it. I was like, oh man,
Yeah, I just
and then you were let down.
yeah.
yeah,
It was-
I kind of was.
Yeah. I mean, I was too. Like, I went into it and I was like, I'm going to give this like the benefit of the doubt, and it was just like, Yeah,
It's interesting though because Macbeth was a little bit the same. It was like very artsy and
I found it
kind
quite
of,
long and dull.
it was a
I
bit
thought, yeah.
long and a bit dull. Yeah.
Shakespeare fans, I'm sure, will get on me.
Well,
but
I consider myself a Shakespeare fan. I was kind of like,
I like it more than most Shakespeare. Like, I can put up with it.
yeah.
But
I
yeah.
don't know if that was my favorite adaptation though.
Yeah.
Not even of Macbeth.
Another game that I thought that might be good, that's going to be decent, that you guys would like.
Is going to be? Or?
Your game that goes into movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
Fuck, I forgot. Excuse me. I forgot about the Resident Evil franchise. They are based on games, and they've done what, like 8 of them now?
Yeah.
Oh, and they're all terrible.
I thought they were
I mean,
better.
the first like
Decent.
2 are like fun, but
They've
like
done
they're not
five,
good films.
5 of them.
Yeah.
But they're kind of more like critically not acclaimed, but I'll say like accepted, aren't they?
The games are the movies. The
Movies.
movies are like
They're
fun
action.
and stupid. Yeah,
That-
like
that's
people
what they
accept
are.
them as what they are. But yeah, the games are very well received.
Yeah.
They followed what the game is, which is basically just action, and then a little bit of lore here and there.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone was like, yeah, it's what the game is. Like,
Right.
and I think that's what everyone kind of has this issue with game to movie thing. It's not what the game is to the movie, and they focus on one thing or one thing too much.
Those games are about zombies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, like zombie kind of monster things.
Yeah.
Zombie monster.
Like it's like a virus. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's the
That
Umbrella one.
mutates you.
The
Umbrella Corporation. Yeah.
Yes.
Not to,
Never seen the movies. Never
Neither
played
have
the games. Look at me go.
Not to get away too far from. I just want to quickly, because I had some points I just wanted to make about Assassin's Creed. A cool thing that they did though, because they didn't adapt one of the games. Because I remember like Michael Fassbender, I was like, he's Altair. He's totally Altair from the first game.
Yeah.
But Altair isn't as well liked as Ezio. He's like when people talk about the franchise, Ezio is like the main dude, and I was
Yeah.
like, he's not Ezio. So then what they did was they made it like, as it's in the universe, he's like a new assassin. He was this Spanish guy, Aguila, I think his name was, or something like that.
Yeah,
Or he was part of the
Aguilar,
Aguilar.
yeah.
But he's in the Assassin's Creed universe. Like it's this
like-
shared
it's
universe.
like a,
it's like, and I like that. I like that it was a cinematic universe.
like
and
an
it was their own
anthology
guy.
story sort of
Well,
thing.
yeah, because it means that they're not tied down to adapting one of like everyone's favorite characters. They made this new person. Their
I think
own
that's a
story.
wise move.
I think it was a very wise move, and then it didn't come together.
So have you
very
guys
well.
read any of the books? I haven't.
Assassin's Creed
so
books?
Yeah, there's like a lot of them. They're
Of
pretty
the
popular.
gaming.
No, there's heaps. They're like genuinely popular books.
really?
Like
Yeah,
novels.
there's like Halo ones.
I've not-
and these are
I'm pretty
there's
sure
it's Oliver
huge selection
Bowden who
behind it.
writes
Yeah,
Wow.
I've not read them. There's a lot of video game
incredible.
books. Yeah, I've been meaning to read all the Halo ones. I've read like 2 of them, I think.
I've read a lot of the short stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they the real Halo books, or
What do
are
you
they
mean?
compared to the Harry Potter ones that you?
Oh no, they're real. No, they're,
I've read them
Gave it to you on a
online.
USB.
the reason I was duped by the Harry Potter one because it was a
There was a lot of
PDF file.
sex in those Halo books.
This was a physical book with a cover that said Halo on it. I was pretty sure. The cover fell off and it was like something else. No. I'm fairly no. You have me questioning everything now.
Every book you've ever read
Yeah.
was just a fan fiction.
Oh god.
You're like, why does every novel have so much sex?
Yeah. It's like, what does this say about me or something? Yeah. I had another point for Assassin's Creed, but I can't remember. So let's move on to maybe different ones. But yeah, Resident Evil's a good one. Are you guys excited for the new Tomb Raider? Or
Well,
even Angelina Jolie one?
Even the old ones, yeah.
I can't remember a single thing
I
from
don't
those
think I've
movies.
seen the Angelina Jolie.
I think I watched it quite young.
So good.
They were like
I don't
2001,
remember.
2003, so they were like
They
15
were so
years ago.
good. Really?
I love them.
Should
I
we-
remember loving them as a kid. I haven't never seen them recently though.
So are they like the only good video game movies? Is that what we're saying here?
from a kid's
Well,
perspective?
it
I
might
am.
be
Yes.
a bit of a biased male opinion, but I mean,
The bias
Yes.
male
Oh,
opinion.
Angelina Jolie.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
The only
amazing.
time, because she said, they were like, do you want to be a Bond girl? They approached her like, do you want to be a Bond girl? And she was like, no, I want to be Bond. And everyone was like, oh shit, game changer. Yeah, and so then they cast her as Lara Croft, because that's like this
Yeah.
powerful feminine character that's badass.
Was there one of them or two?
It was 2.
There's 2 with Lara Croft, with
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
I don't remember them. I'm
The
sorry.
one was about with Pandora's box, and there was another one that I can't
There's
remember.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and then Lara Croft Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life.
Cradle of
which is
Life?
probably
Not
which is
Life.
Cradle of
probably-
Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
what's
the
some-
new one
And they
is
made quite a
Alicia
bit of money.
Vikander,
Alicia Vikander.
who is actually married to Michael Fassbender now. Is that right?
Oh wow, yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, I think so.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Full circle.
Trailer looks cool. It looks literally like what I was just saying about Assassin's Creed. How they took their own liberties. Tomb Raider is literally a shot for shot from that 2013 Tomb Raider
really
reboot.
is.
Really?
Have you seen the new trailer?
No.
We'll show it to you maybe after this. Yeah, it's like it's like, you know, at the start of the have you played the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot game? It's just called Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
There's a part at the start where she like jumps off the boat as it's like sinking during the storm. It's like they recreate that shot of her jumping.
Oh, really?
It's like her running up the plane, jumping, and then her falling into the river.
It's a lot of running and jumping.
Yeah, and her getting like
Just like the
beaten
game.
up and bruised and whatnot. Yeah, it's. They've even taken parts from the second game's like DLC as well, where you like explore like the Croft Manor, and that's like at the start, and she finds like her dad's like secret box. It's like, I guess they were like, well, we tried taking liberties in this because it's like, let's just like copy and paste.
I want it to be good so badly. I really want it to be good.
I want it to be good too. I like Alicia Vikander a lot.
So do I. She's a very good actress too.
We'll see. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I just don't know how it's going to turn out because I've now got this like expectation of like video game movies turning out to be such a low quality that I'm going in with like a plain mind, and it's just like I'm going into a children's movie basically, and I'm going to
you just sort of
that's all right.
You can't have any expectations really either way. You're just like, I hope I enjoy it.
Yeah. And it turns out half the time, you know, it's a terrible movie. Okay, well, and then about maybe 10% of the chance, it's like, oh my god, that was actually half decent.
So can I name another one then?
Go in
Are
with
we
low
ready?
expectations. Yeah, we're ready.
What about Warcraft? Because I just want to say, like, that was a pretty average film that actually I enjoyed like 90% of it. Like it just was, it was just straight in there.
I
like,
watched it like on Netflix with no expectation. Me and my roommate were just like,
I couldn't.
oh, sorry,
I
no, I
don't want to pay $20
don't think we did watch it on
to
Netflix.
it.
I think we watched it some other method, but
illegal download.
Thank you for
streaming, I
supporting
think,
the film industry.
I have a lot of friends who are big WoW players and still to this day do a lot of PvP on WoW and do ranked
everyone's
games.
played WoW at some point.
But they're
Not me.
They're into like that
A
sort
couple
of
of months maybe.
Yeah, I put like a solid month in.
Yeah, well, I did it for about 2 years, so I was like,
But the Warcraft games are great too. Like,
Warcraft games are great, but they've read all the books and all everything, and you know, okay, and they're like, okay, well, we don't like it. Knowledgeable, yes,
but
that'd
like,
probably be the better word of saying something nerdy, but they really depict it, like they picked it apart, and it was to the point where they were going, this is wrong, this doesn't match what this is saying right here because it's not.
But I think there's a certain level of fan that will always be like dissatisfied with an adaptation. Whereas I think it did probably the best it could, and it was more faithful and more enjoyable than most other.
I found it fine.
I
was like, this is kind of. I was like, I just turned in my room. I'm like, this is pretty good, right? He's like, I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Yeah,
I'm
we
yes.
like had a great time. I'm not gonna lie.
Like thoroughly. Like I don't know. It was just like, I mean, some of it looks goofy. Like there's a shot of the orc that like the special effects in that movie are like really good. Like I mean, sometimes they look kind of wonky because they are trying to imitate the game. But I'll put up a screenshot of like the orc and like it's like. It looks so
when I
good.
saw that in the trailer, I saw the orcs. I was like, "Oh, is that what they're going to look like?"
Because it's like the
whole way
same
through.
technology as like they use for the Planet of the Apes movies. It's that kind of
But they did
performance capture.
like you sort of like just fall into it. Like it's all right.
No,
I got into it. Yeah, definitely.
I actually loved the movie. I thought I really liked it. Yeah, I
nice.
liked it, and it was great.
Yeah.
Until like they started depicting it, and I went, that's wrong. They can't. And then I went back and I played the game, and I like actually read up on the lore a little bit, and I went, oh my god.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
It's
it
an
doesn't have
adaptation,
everything.
I think. Though. Yeah, you can't get everything right.
You got to take some.
Like I can see why people
Yeah.
don't like it though, like because it is kind of like you have to buy into the whole orcs and fantasy and portals and things like that. And I think people just have like a gut reaction.
Yeah, it was like the poor man's Lord of the Rings. It was like it was like this
pretty much,
flashy kind of like.
But how everything was done,
All the orcs
and
are
how
like really green, whereas like
They're
Lord of the
so
Rings, it's like
green,
they kind
yeah.
of like it's muddy and brown, whereas like these were like bright green.
Yeah.
how it was pulled off, it was great.
Yeah.
Like and into a plain sort of mind, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't 100% like the best sort of video game movie, but it was something that could improve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think,
definitely.
Yeah, I think they fall into that trap where they don't know their audience. I think.
Well, actually, I think that's an interesting thing that I would dispute because I think they knew their audience. It just wasn't us.
Yeah.
I think they were pitching it towards like that Asian market that just love the spectacle and the color and the adaptation. Like the Chinese
box
particularly.
office,
Like you should give them stuff like Transformers and stuff like Warcraft, and that's where your box office hit is. And that's the way Hollywood is probably going to go, I think.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing, like, with Assassin's Creed as well, is, like, they should have just marketed it towards, like, some of the hardcore gamers. But then even me as a hardcore gamer, I still didn't, like, enjoy it. But
Yeah.
the moment I knew that I wasn't going to like that movie, or, like, that I had worries about that movie, was, like, the first trailer, and it was, like, we are assassins. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then it's like, wham, Kanye comes on. I'm like, oh, my God. I was like, you just lost me. It's like, they need to market it towards everyone, so they put, like, a song that everybody knows, and it's Kanye over this Assassin's Creed. I'm like, you've lost, like, so much credibility. I remember someone edited, like, a fan-made trailer. They put the original beautiful score from Assassin's Creed 2
I was just going to
onto
say,
the
if they
trailer,
used the music
and
from the
it was
game.
so much better. So much better. It felt so much more authentic and Assassin's Creed. And I'm like, why didn't you do this? Like, why Kanye? Like, what
That's
idiot
cool, is it? Cool
studio
as someone
exec
did
was
that.
like, man.
Because it's got these
What
great,
is
like,
Kanye?
orchestral, kind of piano-ish,
Oh, the
like,
music in Assassin's
scores.
Creed is phenomenal, yeah.
It's some of the best music
Just
I can think of,
Clyde.
yeah.
It won an award for it, didn't it?
I wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
Yeah, like on one of the video game awards sort of
Yeah.
thing. Again, own separate awards,
The
but yeah,
VGAs or something like
VGAs,
that.
yeah.
No, I wouldn't doubt
Probably.
it. Did anyone see Prince of Persia?
Yes.
Sands of Time.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I love that game. It's backwards compatible now on the Xbox One. Fantastic
Movie.
game. Movie was pretty rough.
Yeah, and Ben Kingsley.
And Alfred Molina, yeah.
I had a quick look,
Alfred
and it
Molina.
appeared to be the most well received though out of all of the.
I guess
I think
it's
it
fun
was
and action. They
like-
were pitching it as like the next Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it was Jerry Bruckheimer, this huge
It
budget.
was Jerry Bruckheimer.
And I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal's the prince. And then when they released the first trailer and he's ripped and he's got the long hair, and I was like, hell yeah, here we go. Terrible film. Terrible.
I see. At the time, I didn't think it was terrible, but I've watched it 2 or 3 times in like the last decade. And I'm like, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. Who's the chicken? It's not Malin. It's
Gemma Arterton.
Gemma
Gemma
Arterton.
Did you ever play the game?
She's stunning
Prince
as
of Persia?
well.
Holy
Yeah.
crap, I loved it, absolutely.
You loved
First
it?
Time. The first one. The
You're
PlayStation 2
welcome.
one, yeah.
No, because it was one of those games that I enjoyed because it was just like it was a brand new mechanic in the sense like it was like something that it was
like
The rewind.
yeah,
thing.
and I feel like that rewind sort of aspect made me love the game. And then when I went into the movie, I went,
They didn't do it as well, did they?
no, it wasn't because it wasn't as like well thought out in the sense like it was kind of like left into the open air or like you randomly stumbled upon it or it wasn't actually. I can't remember how he was searching for it in the game, wasn't he? Or did he stumble upon it? I can't remember.
I just remember the
correctly
end scene where he like stabs it with the
I think
blade.
he like acquired it by accident or something like that.
Acquired it by accident. Or he
Yeah.
He's
stole
got that
it.
special
or
dagger, yeah, and he didn't. He
It's
doesn't
the dagger,
understand
right,
the
isn't
pilot.
it?
The dagger of time.
Dagger
yeah.
of Time.
Oh man, I want
That's
to play.
right.
I want to play that game again.
It was a good game. They should remaster that. That should be a remastered game.
So I never when I
achievements.
watched The Prince of Persia, I didn't realize that it was adapted from a video game.
I don't think many people did. Yeah.
Well, I
Did you
think
like
that,
it?
I reckon
that was
I did
its
it. I-
success. I think that it was
From
marketable
what I can
to
remember
like
about it, I
the
don't,
general
didn't mind it
public.
that much. Yeah, so
See,
like
Maybe
when I
that's a
came-
good
when
strategy. Then
people
don't
started
say
to-
it's a video game movie.
Yeah.
Just like it's a movie.
that way no one like immediately
Yeah.
shoves it in that category.
Well, is there
and it can
any-
be unobjectively.
I think I knew, but I
compared.
hadn't played it. But like my mother, my mum loved it, and I think my sister loved it, and they'd like never played the game. They were just like, "Hey, Jake Gyllenhaal's good looking dude. It's a good action film."
I'm sure. I'm sure
funny.
if I watched it now, I'm sure there is some good action scenes. I
Yeah.
just remember not liking it. But I mean, I guess there's sort of 2 other points I want to make. Is like one, is there any game that you would love to see as a movie? But then also, do we even need adaptations of these games? These games like Uncharted are so cinematic in their own right. Like, could a movie even do any better? Like,
I think movies are good
I mean-
for me because they condense it. I'm like, I don't want to play 50 hours of this game. Like,
Yeah.
but I love the visual and I love the plot. So
Yeah.
like, just give that to me in like a 2-hour chunk.
But I think
Don't
that's
think they're
incredibly
ever-
difficult to
yeah,
do.
they're not
even gonna
with
be able
these
to do that.
50-hour stories. Yeah, to condense it.
But
down.
no, I think I would rather
a
read the book of
Netflix
it.
series.
Netflix
Yeah,
is-
Netflix series would be good.
Oh, of
Castlevania.
course.
Yes, that's right.
I've never played Castlevania, but that's a new Netflix series, and that's meant to be pretty good actually. The anime.
Yeah, I've
I
been
didn't
hearing.
think
I've been
about
hearing it's
that.
pretty decent.
Video game TV shows.
Well, I think
We cracked it right here on the podcast.
You're welcome, Netflix.
Well, I think that's another thing we're seeing, like in the last decade, is like TV is now like equaling or overtaking movies. Like they've got the big actors now. Everyone from Hollywood is going to
Yeah.
TV. TV tells a better story. It's got more time.
They've got
Sometimes
they've got
they
a
get
bit
more budget.
room, and they have like time to stretch out the story. Sometimes they go too far, like some of those CW shows.
Yeah, I don't think 22 episodes is a good idea for anyone. But like,
Yeah.
give me 12
Or
episodes.
10, yeah.
Or
and it's like,
10.
oh, yeah.
I
Between 8 and 12 is like that golden number.
The other issue that we have with like a lot of like a lot of TV shows that are coming, not TV shows, that games going into movies, is that it's not as like we have a level of expectation for it, and especially a storyline that they're trying to evolve from that game into a movie. There is not many video game. There's not many like movies from video games that go. We're going to not worry about this universe, not worry about like the actual game itself, other than the character and the adage and like just the character, and then take her out of it and put her into a brand new story.
Yeah.
And just put her into like a movie script that's basically built for her.
Well, you could
That's
have
in
like an
2 hour
Indiana
and a half.
Jones film, but put Lara Croft in the front of it, and like don't have to connect it to the games at all. Like it would still work.
Oh yeah, no, well, it still has a decent storyline behind it. That's the
Yeah, if it had a decent storyline, yeah.
yeah, but the Indiana Jones does have that storyline behind that kind of grabs you in that sense.
Yeah, but you don't need to have all the history and stuff. I think is like what I mean. Like, you don't have to like have read all the books and not that there are any games, but
I
don't know
think
if that
that's
makes sense.
I think that's the biggest issue. Like they build these games, they build these game movies.
yeah. So they always have to do it as if there haven't been games.
Yeah,
Like reference the games without trying to like.
That,
It's a,
I mean,
make
it's
subtle
a
references.
It's a hard
Yeah.
line.
that's,
Very
that's
line.
an excellent point. Felix, you were about to say something before. Do you remember what
yeah,
it
it
was?
was actually. Oh no, it was about the TV shows. Halo Forward Unto Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They
the
did
little
that.
miniseries.
Yeah, which I
That one
didn't
was-
mind. I
that was
got
quite
through the
fun,
whole
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I haven't seen Nightfall. That was the latest one. That was promoting Halo 5.
I didn't.
I do like the extra stuff they do. What's the time, buddy?
We are 35.
All right,
Oh,
but we
30,
talked for
30,
like
sorry.
7. Yeah, so that's all right.
Ooh,
So we
I
might
like-
just run for a little...
What about the
maybe
Overwatch Saturday morning cartoon? I'd watch the hell out of that.
Overwatch, the game
There
Overwatch.
isn't one. I'm just
There
saying.
isn't one.
Oh, okay. I was just like, what is this cartoon? what have I been
But how
missing?
great
on?
would that be?
That would be perfect. I mean, they're gonna,
Not cartoon. I mean, the animated style, sure.
No, keep it the anime style that they're in the shorts.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
make that like a Saturday morning, like
Yeah.
It would be
animated.
hard to do.
Back
your
story
Pokemon,
behind
you
it.
Yeah,
wake
man.
up on
They're already
Saturday.
like doing it.
You wake up on Saturday, you got Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and Overwatch.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Power Rangers, yeah. What
Because
was I
the
gonna say?
shorts are amazing.
Oh, that's so good. When you
That's
said
what
that-
really complements video games is the shorts. You know, like
Well,
that.
I
I mean,
mean, just
you're never going to
cinematics
get
in general,
you're never going to
yeah.
get a movie that kind of complements a video game.
What's I mean? They did it in house. Like
Too
they have the
long. Too
whole
long and it's
department that
too-
does those shorts, the animation department. Like they could do a movie. It would just take a lot of time, or they would just have to scale up like a lot of animators and stuff like that.
I bet you they probably got something in the works. They got something in the ideas
Well, that-
category of it.
They'd have
but
to
they
have
just-
discussed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're working too hard on the shorts. Like they're slowly building up like the universe because the game works so well as just like a arena thing. Like there's
And
no
once the
story.
universe is built, they might have like individual movies for each character. They might have like this. It might turn into this whole brand new like superhero movie where it's just like all of a sudden it's just like you got like
Overwatch Men.
Overwatch.
for Watchmen.
Oh, that'd be great.
Can you imagine Rorschach in a room with like
Yeah.
Reaper?
Oh, I'm just
Or he
picturing
could
them,
be
like, all
Reaper.
old, I
He
guess.
could have.
Die.
Sorry.
You're not locked in here with me.
I'm locked in here with you.
Oh, I got the
They
quote
used
wrong.
that
I got
on,
the quote wrong.
What did they use that in?
They-
In Hitman. So I watched a couple of video game movies. They used that line in Hitman. I was trying to figure out where it was
Hitman's not a
from.
very good
It was
movie.
from Overwatch.
The one with,
Watchmen.
I've seen, the only Hitman is the one with Timothy Oliphant, and that was terrible. Because they
Is
did
it-
a thing
is
that
that
I
the best
hate, where they
one?
reference the game in the movie. He like rappels down a building, he smashes through a window, and he lands, and there's two kids playing PlayStation,
Yeah.
and they look at the
yeah.
game, and they look at him, and they look at the game, they're like, wow, and then he like jumps back out the window, and I'm like, I want to like tear my eyes out. I was like, that is
The
egregious.
wink straight at the
That
camera.
was awful. They do it in a great movie that we all love, actually. They do something similar. Spider-Man Homecoming.
They do. Yeah.
When he's running through and it's got that music and he's like trying to catch the car or trying to get back to the dance recital or whatever it is, he runs past a family watching Ferris Bueller and the scene where Ferris Bueller's running through all the neighborhoods. And that's when he yells, he's like, great movie! And I was
That's
like,
not as
I
bad
was
at
like,
all.
I was
That's
like,
not as
ooh.
bad though.
I
They're
was
not like playing
ooh.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, it wasn't as bad, but I was like, that is something that I do not like though. But I was like, I was enjoying that film so much that I didn't really mind. Whereas like as Hitman, I
that
was
didn't
like,
bother me at all.
You don't like the
Yeah.
fourth wall breaking?
I mean, look, you could.
sometimes.
I don't know.
I'm
Does
kind
that
of
count as
over it, I
fourth
think.
wall breaking?
I don't know. There's too many stuff that like
It has to be well
is
done.
full- like when Harrison Ford in Force Awakens, he like turns to the camera like, "We're good at blowing up Death Stars, Chewie," and I was like, "Oh Jesus!" Like,
Yeah,
when
that's
it's
cringe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
whole movie was a reference to like A New Hope, and
And I
that
feel
was
like that's
so
all
badly
this.
done.
That's like all the Star Wars movies these days. Isn't it?
well,
Yeah.
not the old ones. The old ones they
The
want
old
to make a
ones weren't
film.
like
Now
that.
they just want to make money.
yeah, well, like it's
Yeah.
3 films, and then it's like fan favorites around it. And it's just like, okay, well,
Yes, but okay. So Hollywood loves adapting things. I think video games are so popular. I think they're here to stay. Someone will crack it, I think.
Yeah,
eventually.
it's gonna be a wave. Like the
Yeah.
superhero thing will die off. The video games will probably come on.
What you
It's
said
gotta-
about... Sorry.
All good. They should design a video game well in preparation for the fact that there'll be a movie for it.
Well, that's another topic entirely.
okay.
It's video games based on movies
I was
are
just gonna
also
say that.
terrible.
They
like,
are
not
terrible.
necessarily.
the Thor: The Dark World video game, the
Battlefront?
tie-in movie game, like
Battlefront's done pretty well. hasn't it?
Battlefront
Star
is
Wars
a very
What
fun
is
game.
which
Star Wars
Star Wars
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
The new Star Wars Battlefront was not
Well, I
that
mean,
great.
That's a
been
bit
pretty
different.
well
It's like
received.
non-canon though. It's like the ones that sort of follow the story and they're always like licensed out and they're always crap. Like now they always find like someone to make like those games. What was I going to say? But what you said before, I think about adding to like the world and the narrative. That's what I want from a lot of things. Like get away from adaptating because you do have to take like 80 hours and condense it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that works. Whereas I think telling, so what we talk about with the Star Wars spin-offs of the Rogue One, like telling a new story just in that world. I would love that for Halo. 'Cause Halo, that universe is so rich and so like beloved, and there's so much lore and so much stuff to tell.
Halo would
get
make
away
some
from
great
Master
movies.
Chief. Like every time they talk about a movie, they're like, "Yeah, Master Chief and Cortana." I'm like, get away from that because it will never be as good as what everybody wants.
Yeah.
They'll ruin it in some way. Just tell a different story in that universe.
Can you imagine
Just
how bad it
reference
would
Master
be?
Chief? Be like, I heard Master Chief survive or some
We
bullshit.
give Master
like,
Chief a cameo, like
Yeah,
like Darth
exactly.
Vader had in.
like they're on the Pillar of Autumn and they just like they're like, is that who I think it is? And it's like him in the tank. They're like, yeah, don't touch it. And then it's like, all right, and then back to the mission. Like it'd be great. Like I'll pitch it on another podcast. I have a pitch for the Halo movie.
Wasn't Forward into Dawn like that? Like it had nothing to do really with like Master Chief in that sense. But
wasn't
like,
the whole ODST game like that? Didn't they-
ODST. That's why Halo 3 ODST is my favorite Halo game because they got away from. Well, not because they got away from that, but because they told a new story.
Yeah, they like built on the world.
Yeah, exactly, and it was so just unique. Like it was so cool. I played
Yeah.
it recently, man. Oh, so good, so good. We should probably wrap up. I think. Quick note: video game movies that are video game like Scott Pilgrim. Like that's a very
That's a
video
comic
gamey
book movie.
Yeah, but it has a lot of video game elements too.
Yeah, I think because the comic book did.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat.
That's also
Death
a
and
comic book, I'm
Respawn.
pretty sure.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap
Or a
up.
book. Isn't it a manga? Or?
I think you're right,
For
actually.
fuck's sake, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
I
I,
can't
think
remember.
you're right. I think you're right. I just wanted to hear what you thought about it because that is
No, I
essentially
just wanted to
that's,
shut
a,
it
that's a
down.
video game. I mean, you die, respawn.
Yeah.
A great
It's an
movie.
excellent idea for a movie. Like
It's
you don't-
not
you
that
just-
original
You just have
now.
to get them to keep doing the same thing over and
I
over.
feel
I
like
love
they've
it.
done it a lot
Yeah,
of times,
it's not bad.
but it's good.
there was
Yeah.
another one. There was
Death Day, Happy Death Day.
Yeah, Happy Death. Yeah,
Or Groundhog Day. and
what
stuff
about
like
is
that.
it Gamer
Or Snooze by Jack
Oh,
Macmillan.
Gamer. That's an original film
with
about
Gerald
games.
Gerald Butler?
Gamer. Oh, that was
Gerard Butler, yeah.
awful.
It was an awful film.
Well, I haven't seen it. Is it really bad?
That's
Yeah, it was
kind
pretty awful.
There's some creepy elements in that.
Yeah, but like the idea behind it was like it's great. Like when someone pitched it to me, I was like, "That sounds like a great movie. That's gonna
Yeah.
be an awesome movie." And then I watched it and I went, "Why?"
And they put that fucking that
slaves.
song in it, like let's do it like they do in the Discovery Channel.
God,
I
really?
fucking
Why
hate
would
that
they
song.
put that song in there?
That doesn't.
It's
It's
because
like
it's a
a rapey
teenager.
scene.
It's a
There's
teenage
a character
kid
called
that's
Rick Rape.
Yeah,
Love
Look it up.
it.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I
you
remember.
might.
Well, I remember
there
it's
is
awful.
fucking rapey scenes in there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait.
horrible,
I have
horrible.
one
I'm
more.
not gonna Google
One more
that.
How do
point
we-
before the end. One
Google
more
history.
positive, hopeful, light shining point for the future. Ready Player One is
yeah,
a
bring it up.
movie. Is a movie coming out soon, based on a book, based on the entire '80s. But the concept is he's in a game. That's like
That'll be the 80s send up to end all 80s send ups.
the
And we
whole,
can get
like-
out of this 80s like
the
recession.
last
onto the
10 years,
90s.
man, has just been '80s everywhere. But Ready Player One is the thing. It's going to be the pinnacle of adaptations in every genre.
When's it come out?
When are they gonna start rebooting early 2000 stuff, man? I want like the Hillary Duff, like. It'd be called Lizzie, and like it's old like old Hillary Duff. It's old Hillary Duff, and she has to like I don't know. She has to go back to the school,
And she's just real gritty.
even the little I don't know, like
as a teacher, like
Yeah.
a chain smoking teacher,
even a little cartoon character's like old now as well.
and bitter.
Oh, and still hanging out with her.
She's CGI now. She's not 2D.
Oh God.
Let's wrap up.
So wait, that's March 2018 is Ready Player One. So
Very,
it's not far away.
2018.
very excited.
Yeah,
Fingers
but
crossed. I
yeah.
really
When's
hope
it coming
that's
out?
good.
Tomb
Is it-
Raider's
is it a
next
movie?
year, so
Yeah,
Tomb
you
Raider
just said
could be
that,
good.
March 2018.
No, but is it coming out as a movie in a movie theater, or is it coming out as like
No,
a
it's a
Netflix
movie.
Yeah,
special?
should.
or-
It should.
No,
I
it's a
mean, it's
movie,
got
yeah.
the fucking
It's
reception
Steven
for a movie.
Spielberg. It's a
Producing.
genuine like Hollywood A-list movie.
Holy shit! It is Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, why
Fuck,
do you,
I
why do
don't
you
know.
doubt me? Why do you ever check what I say?
What? I'm just reiterating that you.
All right,
that
we're gonna wrap
good
up,
and you know your
guys. That's
shit.
been the Giant Loop Podcast, episode 11. Matt, thank you for joining us.
You're very, very
All right,
welcome.
stay
Thank
tuned.
you.
We're going to upload the Gamescast soon.
Woo! Thanks, guys.
Hey.
Bye.
Thank you.